First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. As you know, if you tune in to us every day, we appreciate that. We're live streaming on our social media channels and, of course, our apps and our website. But today, right now, as you can tell, I am joined by Adrian Thomas. You've probably seen him on this show before. Adrian's joined us a few times to cover some really big stories that have happened on here, and really happy to have you in person.
It's great to be here.
Is this your first time in person?
Yeah. Most of the time it's been over Zoom or when I'm out in the field racing around.
Somewhere, doing something. So we get to actually have him in studio with us today. And for a couple of big reasons. We're going to be talking about a huge investigation that Adrian's been doing, and we're going to kind of do a little bit of a deeper dive on some stuff he's been covering. But before we do that, let's talk about what's listed right there. Fox 12 Investigates. You've probably seen this talked about on some of our newscasts, but we're getting to actually discuss it here on this show on Fox 12 Now. Really excited to do so. And Adrian is one of the members of this team.
Yep.
And I was hoping, maybe you can explain to everybody what Fox 12 Investigates is.
Yeah, well, it's a new chapter in our investigative team here at Fox 12. We're, for the last couple of months now, we've dedicated a lot of resources to investigative content, taking deeper dives into the biggest issues of the day. We're planning to be on air frequently, taking deeper dives into the big headlines of the day, but we also have more in-depth, long-form stories that we're constantly working on, and we've been putting out close to like 10 or a dozen stories over the last couple months, and you can take a look at all those stories right now on KPTV.com. Go to the Fox 12 Investigates tab, which is right on the homepage. And if you also have a story idea for us, we also have a contact form right on top of the Fox 12 Investigates page. It's simply called Contact Fox 12 Investigates, and it's a pretty user-friendly form that you fill out with your information and your story idea, and you can upload photos and videos that could be helpful to your story pitch as well, and we'll try to get back to you. So if you have anything that you'd like for us to look into, definitely visit kptv.com, Fox 12 Investigates tab, and then the Contact Fox 12 Investigates form.
Absolutely, and I want to emphasize too just how much work it takes to go in to really do these deeper dives. I mean, these are the stories, the topics that people either want to know more about, are concerned about, huge things that involve a lot of facets.
Absolutely,
a lot of work goes into that. And so appreciate having Fox 12 Investigates, and really excited to see what all you all do. I mean, as you mentioned, there's already 10 or 12 stories on there already, but as we go through, there's plenty of stuff there. And along those lines, there's one particular one that we're going to talk about. This is a recent one, and that you have been working on. Just bringing up our lower third there.
Cool.
It's all self-run here at this desk, so a lot of clicking. But this is something that I think a lot of people are certainly well aware of. Just happened to be yesterday that Target announced 3 stores closing. We've seen the comments, how much this is concerning for a lot of people, and whether this is symptomatic of some other issues that are going on here in the city.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this basically just over the last few weeks, we thought, okay, we know that in Portland that it's no secret that theft, break-ins is a constant issue. So we just wanted to take a look at, police data and kind of see, well, where are we at right now? Where are the areas in the city that are hardest hit, and what are police doing about it? And the story that you're about to see aired yesterday in all of our broadcasts. It's online on kptv.com right now. You can see more of the information there. But this story aired yesterday, and a couple hours after it aired, Target announced that it's closing 3 stores in Portland, mostly in vicinity around the city center, all due to theft. So it's an issue that's impacting businesses large and small, and the city's trying to navigate an uncertain future in regards to this crisis.
Right. It's one more thing that's just kind of adding into all these different issues that are going on. Well, should we go ahead and play the package? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So we'll play the package, we'll watch that, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about this.
According to data from the Portland Police Bureau, the number of shoplifting crimes are at their highest point in 8 years. We took an in-depth look at the most current data from law enforcement and talked to businesses in the neighborhoods where break-ins and shoplifting have been reported most frequently. Businesses and the police investigating these crimes say the frequency of these crimes the last few years is something they've never seen before. Data from the Portland Police Bureau indicates the top 3 business districts in the city that are most often targeted by shoplifters are the Columbia Corridor, Gateway, and Parkrose. The most recent set of data from PPB shows that since 2020, shoplifting reports have gradually increased each year. This past year, it was the highest since 2015, with 5,014 reported shoplifting crimes from July 2022 to July 2023. Parkrose Hardware's flagship store is nestled in the heart of Parkrose in Northeast Portland. Store manager Craig Loop says since early 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic threw the world into chaos, chaos found its way into his store in the form of shoplifters.
You know, the 2020, the COVID, people were just blazing. They'd come in knowing and feeling that they couldn't be touched and almost feel empowered to just grab cartfuls of things and run out the door.
How does it impact you and the employees who work under you when you're dealing with this nonstop?
You know, it's a stress for all of us. Staff doesn't always feel safe. We don't feel safe sometimes in engaging and knowing your boundaries and when we need to call for, police backup. Those are all fears, and it weighs on you. I mean, I'm not going to lie that, sometimes that you get a multiple activity in a day.
Loop says Parkrose Hardware, the owners of the building's property, and neighboring businesses have pooled their funds to invest in armed security, reinforced glass and business windows, and extra fencing. Loop says a hot item for thieves in his store are power tools, which the store keeps locked up while on shelves. In nearby Columbia Corridor, another area hit hard by shoplifters, Sue Kim, owner of Airport Cafe, says she has also seen an increase in break-ins and vandalism in the area, including at her cafe, which has been in her family for decades. A local restaurant may not deal with items being stolen like retail stores, but Kim says she has to take extra precaution, like making sure no cash is kept on the premises each night.
Well, it's a frustration. You just feel violated when you come into your space and things are missing or broken or other things like that. Shattered door. Immediately we have to make sure that, our crew and our staff is safe.
The Cascade Station Shopping Center, just north of Kim's Cafe, is yet another popular targeted area for shoplifters, according to Portland Police. Officers have conducted multiple retail theft operations to catch serial shoplifters. One of the officers in charge of these missions is Sergeant Jorge Mendoza with PPB's North Precinct. He also says the shoplifting problem has gotten worse since 2020 and pushed PPB to work with hard-hit businesses to set up these retail theft missions.
What we try to do is, we try to get a lot of businesses involved. There's days where one business will be busier than another, right? And so we'll have one point of contact that'll be in touch with the loss prevention folks, maybe 2, depending on the size of our mission and group. They will get this information, say, hey, we got a guy that's chronically a shoplifter, and we'll give it time.
Mendoza says once a mission is scheduled after a chronic shoplifter is identified, PPB officers wait outside a store in position to catch the criminal in the act.
We'll, tactically place ourselves to be able to respond when the person walks out of the store with, the items that he's been stealing. We try to make that as safely as possible so they don't get into a car, limit liability and some of the risk to the officers and other members of the community.
Mendoza thinks retail theft missions are having an impact and deters shoplifters from areas where missions are conducted. But Mendoza says there needs to be more accountability after the thieves are caught. What's it going to take for the problem to get better, to get to that point where we were looking at, you said, you noticed it start to get really bad a couple of years ago. So what's it going to take for things to really improve?
I think that we do our part. I don't think we can't arrest ourselves, arrest these folks and continue to arrest them, and there's no rehabilitation, there's no consequence. maybe stricter prosecution on these crimes, aggregating these crimes, different laws placed to, hold these people accountable. I think sometimes these thefts are committed for, drug-related reasons.
Back at Parkrose Hardware, manager Craig Loop says law enforcement and city officials have their work cut out for them to take on this crisis.
I think I don't see it getting better, to be honest. I think there's, we hear about a lot of activities of the city and how we can handle homelessness and drug addiction and those things. Drug addiction down here is it's really bad. You see it all the time, that it's not even hidden.
Sergeant Jorge Mendoza with PPB also tells us in the last 2 years he's been a part of 15 retail theft missions, which have led to over 91 arrests. In studio, Adrian Thomas, Fox 12 Oregon.
All right, so again, really, really interesting stuff. And I think that showcased too just how in-depth that is and how big of an issue this is for everybody.
No, absolutely. And, one thing we want to add too, we also reached out to the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office just about this issue. And it's a issue that's definitely one of their top priorities too. Back in the summer, DA Mike Schmidt created a retail theft task force and has been a very vocal supporter of this new state law that's going to take effect in 2024, which basically allows any district attorney in the state that is prosecuting someone charged with the retail theft to pull basically any incident of theft anywhere in the state, regardless of county, and kind of aggregate all those charges into one, so the charges can be harsher. It was a loophole that a lot of, that the DA's office said a lot of chronic thieves were basically getting off a little too easy because they had a lot of other incidents, but one county couldn't necessarily charge them with those other incidents that were going on in other counties. So
if somebody was savvy enough, they could.
So it's a law that will take effect next year, and the DA's office is hoping that it really has an impact.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, certainly it's a huge issue, obviously. Just by that, and we've got lots of coverage at KPTV too. Just like you mentioned, happenstance, the Target's closing. There's some other topics on there too that just it's everywhere. So huge issue. And I also want to talk about something you brought up at the beginning, which is the fact that people can also submit their ideas to you for investigative pieces, which I think is really huge. So it's on the website, so somebody can go there and just fill out, what they're concerned about, or what kind of information would be helpful for you.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a very personal story of you are trying to get answers from a higher authority somewhere, or you're aware of an issue going on in your community that you're struggling with trying to figure out what's going on, who's responsible for this, who needs to be held accountable. Fill out that form on our website and explain as best you can the issue and any information you think that might be helpful and kind of giving us a good idea of what we could possibly look into. And we try and get to all requests as best we can. But yeah, we encourage anyone with ideas to reach out to us.
Nice. Well, Adrian, thank you for taking some time.
Of course.
To talk here. I know you're
Great
very
to be
busy
here.
with all of that, and we appreciate everybody who joins in live for this show too. This is part of what we get to do. We cover so many different topics on Fox 12 now, but we also get to actually speak to the reporters that you see on the news, doing all of the work here, finding out all of this information and doing these investigations like Fox 12 Investigates does. So we have Adrian here joining us, which is great. And I think that's it for this segment right now. As always, you can check out all of our Fox 12 Now segments on the YouTube channel, on Facebook, on our app. If you download the Fox 12 Oregon app, there's a Fox 12 Now button there. You can just press that, check out everything that we cover. And if there's ever breaking news between 1 and 4 p.m., I want to remind you, come right back where you are right now, because we will have that. It could be Adrian out in the field sometimes. Could be, any of our reporters, could be anybody, and we will bring you that breaking coverage. All right, well, thanks for tuning in. We're signing off right now. Thank you, Adrian.
Thanks, Greg.
Greg
Thank
Nibler,
you all.
This is Fox 12 Now.